WrestleFriends Podcast!
Welcome to the WrestleFriends Podcast. I'm Dave.
My name is Mark Jago.
And we are your Wrestle Friends, your Wrestle Buddies, your fountain of all Wrestle knowledge.
All five of you. This is episode 10.
Is this
10.
episode 10?
10.
That's exciting.
10.
We were going to do something exciting for episode 10, but I think we managed to do that last weekend.
Yeah, well, it was the Wrestle thoughts that have evolved from that weekend are part of episode 10. So we could say we did it for episode 10.
If you've listened to 10 episodes of this podcast,
well done.
Good for you.
Well done.
You deserve to be in the Gonzalez Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Maybe you should let me know if you've listened to all 10. There's got to be one person at least, and
Lynn Cairns will have listened to all 10.
Tony Winship might have. I think he's got one download. If you have listened to 10, we might even say hi. I can't offer you any sort of.
Hello, everyone.
I can't really offer anything else other than a hello.
More audio, beautiful
noises. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. They'll tell their friends.
And then so on. And so on.
Do you know the best way not to get any listeners is to go to wrestling events and just shout?
That's definitely a good way not to make wrestle friends. There's also another good way not to make wrestle friends, and that's stand in a queue whilst bursting for a wee and try to interview someone whilst you're half cut and have an idiot as a cameraman who can't hold the camera straight.
Or be rude to people when they approach you about opinions about wrestling. And
there's a good way to not make friends with wrestlers is stalk them whilst you're pissed.
All of which we did.
All of the above. So
to elaborate,
do you want to explain where we were going and what we were doing?
So we went to Chikara King of Trios, night one. If anyone's not familiar with Chikara, you should check them out. They're an American lucha company.
Lucha.
That's dead. Died of death a while ago. They're probably the biggest indie company, bar Ring of Honor in America. I would hasten to guess.
They're so indie. I didn't know who they were until Mark told us about it. That's pretty indie, man.
It is.
That makes us cool as well, because we went.
We did. We are cool independent wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of thought we'd go and have a bit of a jolly. So I was in Birmingham, which is really far away. You've
got to keep in mind that me and Mark have two. Mark's got a very young child, and I've got two, so we don't get away very often. So this was very, very exciting. What did we take with us, Mark?
I took 2 liter bottles of Jack Daniels.
But how cool were we though? We rocked up at the train station. We both had a cool bag.
We did. Had me sandwiches and me crisps and pasties.
Beers. 2 bottles of Jack Daniels. What else?
I had me laptop and we watched Combat Zone Wrestling once in a lifetime.
I think the first problem was that we weren't seated properly for the train journey there, and we kept getting shifted by people who probably didn't care that we'd set the laptop up already and started watching something. It was really annoying, that, wasn't it?
It happened about 4 times. Just got the laptop set up, got the event playing, and got our drinks and sandwiches out, and then someone would be like, "Oh, I've got these seats reserved," and then the little screens above didn't even indicate that they were reserved. So that's a real way company's fault.
Train.
Which company was it again?
Is it
Northern Rail?
Coast.
One of them.
To Coast.
Fuck them for that. But eventually we found 2 seats. was set together.
You know, the interesting thing about that train journey was, well, the good thing anyway, it wasn't that interesting, was I got to see that wrestling thing that you were watching. What was it?
I watched, it was Once in a Lifetime it was Combat Zone Wrestling's latest show.
And I got to see that new guy who's joined NXT.
Leo Rush.
Yeah, and I quite enjoyed it.
What are your thoughts on Leo Rush?
I think he's, like we discussed on the train on the way down there, he's very similar to a Finn Balor type character, but a different...
Ethnicity.
Yes, that's the one. He does a bit of a demon thing, doesn't he?
The Black Finn Balor is what you want to say?
No, I didn't want to say that because I was being...
I think he's a little bit more gothic-y, but it's a very similar.
So, like, Undertaker / Finn Balor.
So he wrestled...
but Finn Balor size and, like...
an athlete.
Yeah.
He wrestled... So, two things. He wrestled Joey Janela in what is obviously Leo Rush's final match with Combat Zone Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Janela, the Bad Boy, is another great wrestler you should check out. And it also had a polarizing spot where Leo Rush takes a Falcon Arrow from the top of a ladder through a table and he no-sells it, he just gets up. So we were discussing whether that kills the business or not. And I think in this day and age, it's fine.
I think it would have probably...
We talked about the books, didn't we?
Yeah, because they openly kill the business. Well, they've obviously been told that they're killing the business, and spots are their thing and stuff like that, and they use it to sell merchandise, which I think is quite funny. I think they've also been told they're not allowed to say "suck it" anymore, and I think they've also been told that they're not allowed to say "fuck the revival" anymore. So
they're probably just going to do it anyway.
I don't think they're...
And if I'd just been signed by WWE and it was my last match with the company, I'm no selling going off the top of a ladder because I can.
Plus, it was a bit like
lost the match as well.
People have been doing it for years anyway. Undertaker and Kane, prime examples.
I suppose if you've got a little bit of like gothic beastiness to your character, then you can do it.
You can get hit with it. It's okay for the Undertaker to get hit with a steel chair and sit back up because he's the Undertaker. But if somebody else does it, they're killing the business.
But I think people discuss indie wrestling and like they discuss it too much. Yeah. They don't just enjoy it. They're like, I killed the business.
Yeah, I was a bit worried about some of the people in the Chikara queue who may be worried about the business being killed.
I was so drunk, I would have just knocked them all out.
Do you not remember there was a full group of people behind her that were quite like, they were like serious wrestling fans.
We were in the exact best mood to deal with serious wrestling fans. I can't remember what they were saying, but I remember it being slightly annoying.
Yeah, it was like, I can't remember.
They were like shitting on people.
This is how bad it is because this is like the start of the night and we can't remember what happened. It was.
Everybody knows serious wrestling fans who don't really enjoy wrestling. They just kind of like to bitch about things.
Yeah.
They were like that.
Look at me, I'm cool.
I know what I was doing. I was loving the Velveteen Dream in front of a group of indie wrestling fans.
I think you might have been, yeah.
And they were like, and I was like, come on, have a good time. Ow!
Anyway, we got there after 2 trains, 2 metros, and 2 trains. I finally got to Wolverhampton, and we located our hotel quite fast, and then we went into the hotel.
I liked on the Wolverhampton train how we were going through places like Dudley, where Tyler Bates from, so we kind of saw where the British strong style originated from.
Yeah, it was like a tour of their past. And then we got the hotel anyway, right? And then the guy behind the counter just tells me to sit down.
Yeah, that was weird.
And he was like, so we decided whilst we were sat down and not knowing why we were sat down, we decided he could be some sort of wrestler himself.
He was like a big Eastern European looking guy, wasn't he?
He was a big guy. He had no hair, did he?
We just went in and we were like, you know how you normally go to hotels and then they just check you in straight away. He was like, sit over there.
Sit over there. But why? We didn't understand why.
And didn't explain it. And then a woman came and checked you in about 20 minutes later.
Yeah, but not before that woman jumped in front of the queue and said she had to be somewhere. That was annoying.
Yeah. She was weird. I've got a meeting.
I need to go. He also looked like, because he had a white shirt and a black tie on, I was thinking, you know, the Right to Censor group, what were they called?
Right to Censor.
Is that what they were called? With, like, what was he called? Stevie Ray.
Stevie Richards, the
Richards.
good father.
Yeah. Val Venus.
Val Venus, but it wasn't Val Venus, it was like Sean Morley.
Yeah, he could have...
Jackie.
He could
Not Jackie.
There was a big bald guy in the group as well, though. What was he called?
Oh, Bill Buchanan.
Yeah, Bill Buchanan, he was in it. Do you not think he could have been him?
He could. Or Loki's older brother.
Who?
Loki, you know how he does the Hitman game?
I thought you meant Loki. You know, Loki off...
Oh, yeah. That would be random.
Oh,
Another weird thing about the hotel lobby is they had the Phantom of the Opera soundtrack playing on a loop. What the fuck was that about?
That was really strange. And
it was like Fawlty Towers. The doors were tiny. We're not large men, but we couldn't fit through the doors.
And we got to a hotel room, and the Jack Daniels was still flowing at this point. Then we decided to have a recce to find out where
2
the place
points
was.
I knew I was drunk. Just before that, there was 2 wrestling fans in the lobby, and we were talking to them, and I got the sense I didn't want to be talking to her. And and then when we went to try and find the place, I forgot how to use GPS, i.e. couldn't follow the woman or the arrow.
So we spent a good hour, I'd say, wandering around Wolverhampton, which, by the way, have beautiful statues of wolves spotted all around the Wolverhampton. I think you meant to spot them all.
If you check out our Facebook page, you'll be able to see pictures of some of them wolves.
We did finally get there though, and it was sort of like an
warehouse.
Old warehouse, wasn't it? And it looked like they had metal detectors. Remember?
So I tested them.
So Mark broke in and tried to test them. They weren't on, so we decided it was cool to take hip flasks. I tested them because
I was considering taking hip flasks.
So once that was done anyway, we ended up back to our hotel, got cleaned up and everything, and then we went back. Tried to interview some people in the line, but that didn't really go very well.
Too drunk
happened. I did put a video on Facebook, took it down, it was embarrassing.
The guy with the glasses with the long hair, you're a nice lad, he put up with it.
There was a couple of guys in the queue who were quite, like, they were nice.
They were kind of, the guys behind were douches, like too serious. But the guys that we're talking to, they were canny. The guys behind were also told with that they'd probably never listen to our podcast, so, you know, we can say horrible things about them. Even if they did listen, like, just, it's wrestling, enjoy it. Yeah, it's a fake sport. They won't like that, will they? Where was that up to? We're in the queue. We got in. And I was surprised. Hang on. I met Bryce Remsburg in the queue. Oh, yeah. Who I was really excited about meeting because he's like pretty much the seminal indie referee in America. We had them Chikara shows though because like he was just coming out to tell people that they were doing what they could to hurry the thing up because we've been outside for ages. But he's like Mike Quackenbush's like right hand man. Right. So Mike Quackenbush, the owner / like wrestler. He's kind of like Bryce Remsburg's. He's like right hand man. But yeah, I enjoy meeting him. And you got your photo took, and did we tell him we had a podcast? We told him we had. Yeah, I can't remember what I said to him. Don't think. I said, yeah. We got a nice photo though. Got a nice photo. Can't remember what I said. Too drunk. And then we went in. I was surprised at what the venue looked like. It was nice. It was a nice warehouse. It was. I think I read it when it had like art exhibitions there. Yeah, the toilets were like different to what I thought they would be. It was like a cool, like indie rock bar. But with wrestling. And there was a nice bar at the back, and they had all the tables set up selling merch as we went in, and that's where we first met Simon Gotch. Off of the Vaudeville. Was that at the beginning? We met Simon Gotch. He was in there at the start, yeah. I think Simon Grimm now. We went back later on, and that's when you spoke to him. Well, what I discussed the fact that Simon Gotch thought I looked like Chris O'Dowd. He seemed like a nice guy though. But he was genuinely chatty and. And he didn't really care that we weren't buying T-shirts off him. He just kept talking. I actually got more nervous. When I was drunk, I thought I was going to get less nervous, but I got more. He said something that made us feel like he actually listened to the podcast, and not only might have just been totally filling me with shit, but
he did
Drunk
mention,
you enjoyed it though.
Drunk me enjoyed it and took it as a win because he said, "Isn't there another guy on that?" As if he's listened to the podcast before. He might have just been guessing. It's kind of an easy guess that you're going to do a podcast with someone else.
Getting more by my buy t-shirt.
Yeah.
But Drunk you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I totally loved
I'd
it.
imagine at the time you wouldn't have deconstructed the conversation. You would have just enjoyed it.
No, I was hammered.
And that's all you need.
But the guys weren't there though. We went up to the British Strong Style t-shirt stand and they weren't there.
There was a very nice young man.
There was, but I can't remember his name. He
Can't
looked
remember
like
his name.
Robert Pattinson. We were calling him. Remember?
We were calling him, yeah, British Strong Style Robert Pattinson. He is a wrestler. Can't remember his name. Sorry, man. And he said he'd wrestled all of British Strong Style. But,
He did, didn't he?
But he kind of worked for them, sold t-shirts.
I can't remember his name. I wish I could.
He might work for Attack Pro Wrestling, which is Pete Dunne's Fed.
Yeah. He was a nice guy.
So the no fun police were from Attack as well.
And then we went and realised that they sold cans of beer, which could have been another one of our downfalls.
So I was so drunk by this point, when I drank loads of beer, loads of cider I drank, I didn't realise I'd drank it till the next day. And then when Dave reminded us that they sold cans at the venue, I was like, oh yeah, that's why I feel really bad, because I drank loads of I drank that as well.
Can you remember the first match?
No.
We took our seats.
This is what I want to apologise for. So we're wrestling fans, and I'd love to watch wrestling, deconstruct it, really enjoy it, take it in.
Remember, there was a guy with a teddy bear. Remember him? Golga, we were calling him.
No.
Not remember the teddy
Honestly,
bear man? Can you not remember him?
No.
I
was like, and that's what I want to apologise for. Like, I'm gonna watch the show back on the DVD and really like enjoy it. But I was just, by this point, I was just like.
You must remember the British Strong Style match though, because they came.
I remember British Strong Style and the rest of the White Wolves.
It was just before the half time, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
we got really excited, and then
I think I kind of a few kind of cells of us sobered up to watch it.
Then I went to the toilet.
What
where
I do
got
remember,
my photo took with Chikara,
world champion Juan and Dan Coronado.
He had a piss next to us, which was quite exciting.
The Chikara Grand Champion.
I'll have to upload the photo onto my Facebook because I haven't put that one up yet. What were you going to say there?
So I do also remember in an earlier match, the early 2000s British wrestling stars, Jody Fleisch, Johnny Storm and Johnny Moss wrestled, and that was pretty good.
They were having a shower in the toilets when I was in there as well.
I remember them from the FWA days in the early 2000s when they had the wrestling channel on Sky.
Oh, I remember that. That was where TNA was first on, wasn't it?
And a lot of those guys back in the day had early matches with like AJ Styles and people like that when he went on his European tours. So it was exciting seeing them, but it was kind of like, I remembered all of that, but I couldn't really watch the match because I was drunk.
With one eye.
With one eye.
After the British Strong Style match, it's all a bit of a blur to me.
Yeah, so the British Strong Style match happened, which was awesome.
It was straight after that match, though, that we started going to talk to them, didn't it?
Yeah, so they came out at the interval, and that's when we went over and bothered them for quite a long time.
Not only did we bought a T-shirt off them, and in buying the T-shirt, we sort of felt like they owed us they owed us one. They were going to be our friends for life. But Trent Seven was quite a nice guy. He took it in his stride.
Yeah, it's telling, like, when you meet them, so you can kind of tell. Like, I thought Pete Dunne was, like, really professional.
Yeah.
Like, he was very, like, kind of, wasn't chatty, but he was, like, he was very nice to you and, like, you know, listen to what you had to say, but obviously there was lots of people online. Tyler Bate was a lovely guy, and like he did chat to you, but you got the feeling he was quite shy.
Yeah, he didn't.
So like me talking to him as a shy man, talking to a shy man didn't really work.
Yeah.
I was just like, I think you're the future, and he was like, thanks.
Trent Seven was brilliant though, wasn't he?
You could tell he was a bit older and like.
And he seemed to be really enjoying himself, and he was having a drink and stuff, and like really getting into it, wasn't he?
But anyone who's listening to this podcast, I know like we're huge fans of all three of those guys, and we've got to do a one suite with them, and like it was a nice
got
moment.
To tell Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate that I thought they had match of the year, which I don't usually get to do to the person I've thought was match of the year.
I wonder whether like I wonder whether they hear that a lot or they like really appreciated hearing it. I don't know.
I wonder if they thought that I was just saying it because they were there, but I genuinely I genuinely think it was match of the year, and to actually be able to get to tell them that I thought that was great. So,
good times.
After that, it all got a bit messy, and
yeah, we wandered around drunk.
Wandered around really drunk. We didn't get back to our seats, I don't think.
No, we didn't.
We stood up for the rest of it. I can't remember much. I remember the Simon Gotch match at the end, but I only remember bits of it.
We watched it from a weird angle, right at the side of the ring. Probably in people's way. I then stood, when everybody left, I stood next to the stage, cross-legged on the floor like Aleister Black, and Red Ant came and tapped us on the head.
That was good. Got a good photo of that. And I think we were about to leave when Trent Seven...
Oh, it was Soldier Ant, actually. It wasn't Red Ant, sorry.
I think we were about to leave when Trent Seven said, the bar's still open. And
while doing a one suite.
And that was enough for Mark to go back in and order more cans of beer and cider. And then we got really smashed, and then we ended up wandering around Wolves.
This is where a really bad thing happened. So I'd bought like a limited edition Game Changer Pete Dunne t-shirt with Triple H's sledgehammers on it.
This is where the tale gets dark.
So I was dancing to heavy metal music in a nightclub and lost it.
And then we went out of the nightclub. I went for I went and tried to get kebab and chips, and then the guy just came back with a tray of chips for us, which I was like, well, I want some kebab with that. And then he came back with another tray with the kebab in, so I'm carrying a tray of kebab and a tray of chips around. And Mark wants to go back to look for his t-shirt.
You can tell them what was happening while you were doing that as well.
Mark was being sick. Mark was being sick on his shoe outside the kebab shop, whilst the kebab shop owner was laughing at him. So then we had to go back to the pub. I couldn't go in because I had a kebab. So Mark, at this point, I lost eyeball.
So
on Mark.
This is what happened vaguely. So I can recollect this. I recollect this because I was like in distress because I lost my t-shirt. I was scrabbling around on the floor to find my t-shirt upstairs because the bit we were in the club was upstairs. Couldn't find it for a while, so came back downstairs and had a piss. And Tyler Bate and Trent Seven were in the toilet when I was having a piss. And I was like, I think I just ran away. It was too much.
Did you not say, I've just lost my t-shirt?
No. I don't think I did say. I might have said that to them, but it was like, by this point, it was like stupid, like, we nicknamed it British Monk style.
So he came back outside and he couldn't see. And how did you get, you just got home because you followed my white train?
Well, yeah, a couple of things. I thought that the hotel the next day, I thought we had walked uphill. Turns out it was just a flat plane. I was that drunk, and I only really made it back to the hotel by following Dave's shoe.
I don't know how I knew
he had white shoes on. You weren't that bad.
I wasn't that bad, but I'm not very good with directions, so we're quite lucky we got back. Mark also declared he was going straight edge,
like Ricky Shane Page,
whilst
CM Punk,
whilst on his way back to the hotel. And then that was that. And
I think I decided on the train the next day that I wasn't going to.
Yeah, it didn't take him long. We ended up on first class on the way home. That was good.
It was.
Took Mark 45 minutes to eat a McDonald's breakfast wrap, and he threw up another 3 times or something. Yeah. So the way back was fun, and I felt a little bit like his carer, walking in front of him, taking him everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to Dave for getting us on the train and out of bed.
The biggest struggle.
I hadn't even set an alarm, so I would have slept till about 11 in that day. And
I was very sensible in setting an alarm for 8 o'clock in the morning. But bloody good weekend.
So a fun time was had by all. The next trip I want to do is ICW at the Glasgow Garage, and I would like to conduct it in the same manner.
So you're not going straight edge after all? It's a relief.
I've thought, like, I'm sorry to people who don't get to go to wrestling shows that I didn't watch the wrestling properly, but I watch a lot of wrestling and I really like study it and take it in. So I think when I go on a wrestling trip to other places, that's the way I should do it.
I think it was good for a person who likes wrestling to be having a drink whilst it's on in the background, sort of thing. Because
I'm going to watch those 3 shows, and I'm really going to like do what I do with them and be like, this is everything that happened, this is who everybody is, this is how old they are, this is how much they weigh.
Are you gonna dissect it?
But I enjoyed it in the way that I enjoyed it when I was there. So yeah, it's a new way of enjoying wrestling. Just being around the kind of the people and the atmosphere. It's different to going to a big WWE show, house show. It's like, I employ anyone who's only been to WWE house shows and no wrestling at all. Go to an indie wrestling show, even if it's your local company. We've got Absolute here. It's just, the people are different. It's so much fun. You can have a drink, you know, like, there's no kids there spoiling it with being kids, and like, you can't swear or like, be an adult.
That's what I was telling Jake, because Jake was upset because he couldn't come, but like, there was not one child there, was there?
No.
At all. So stuff it, don't take your kids, just go and enjoy it. Also, there's a night in Newcastle starting, which I haven't told you about, called Break Stuff. And now what they're doing is they're playing, it's a heavy metal night, and I think they're going to have the Attitude Era Wrestling on big screens. So if you're into that sort of thing, I would get yourself to that.
That sounds like our Christmas night out.
That does sound good, doesn't it? Although it's this month, but if they do another one, I'd be well up for that.
Sounds good.
It does. So apart from Chikara, which we don't obviously remember much about, have you had any WrestleThoughts?
I've had extensive WrestleThoughts.
Yay!
So, it starts with watching NXT 408.
Wow.
Which was on the 22nd.
I can't believe you're numbering these.
Which is on the 22nd of August 2017. The match is recorded before TakeOver. Brooklyn TakeOver.
Oh, going back this far?
Yeah.
Come on then.
So, starts with Lars Sullivan attacking No Way Jose.
I'm liking Lars at the minute.
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah.
So No Way Jose still over.
I don't know how.
Despite being a massive loser.
Despite me hating him.
People love dancing.
They do, but I don't.
His kind of matches go like, does a dance, loads of the crowd get involved in the conga. It's like quite kind of big and spectacular. Goes in the ring, gets minced, done.
It's not going to work forever. He's going to have to do something.
So, Lars Sullivan, or what he used to be called Dylan Miley, which one do you prefer?
Lars.
Attacks him on the ramp and then throws him around like an empty tracksuit. So WWE are very keen on Mr. Sullivan.
So you were saying.
Sort of the same as the next Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I can see it.
Triple H is apparently personally overseeing his training, gets like weekly updates from Messrs. Terry Taylor and all the trainers there on him.
What age are we?
What age is he?
Yep.
30.
30?
Yeah.
He's got that knee brace on. Has he got problems?
He was an American footballer.
Right.
So I think it's a similar situation with Baron Corbin, is that he got bad injuries.
Yeah.
So his next kind of place. Imagine running against him though.
No, it'd be
terrifying. So he's got 37-inch vertical leap apparently.
Really?
He's 284 pounds, hands like shovels, and he's only 30 years old. So do you think we're looking at the next Brock Lesnar?
Possibly, if he can stay healthy.
They're obviously looking after him. Like I haven't, I'm going to save this episode of NXT that I'm going to talk about right now for the next episode of this podcast. But he beats 3 jobbers up.
Problem is, he might not be.
Him already.
He'll not have the celebrity Brock Lesnar has. Is that the right word to use? Because he's obviously known in UFC and stuff like that. So.
But he wasn't when he started with WWE.
He wasn't. Was he? He was. He was.
He didn't. He wrestled. He left WWE for UFC.
I thought he was at UFC, then WWE, then UFC again. Really?
He was like an amateur wrestler, like a really highly regarded amateur wrestler.
Right.
What was I saying? Dylan Miley, Lars Sullivan. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes forward. I kind of like this snaps angry sort of gimmick.
Yeah. It used to be fun when he used to say sorry after it, and
he's just gone full heel now.
He's got a handicap match coming up.
Yeah. In
a couple of weeks. Or has it been?
It was yesterday.
Was it?
Yeah. So I'll watch that, and that'll be on the next episode.
Oh, cool.
So next was Johnny Gargano being interviewed about the loss to Andrade at TakeOver. Gave no excuses, owned it, typical babyface stuff. Talked about the fans believing in him. So they're going full 80s. Never give up.
Yeah.
Babyface, which is I think you've got to do with him
Yeah,
I think it's a way forward.
I think it could work.
How could you have? You could not have him. As
it can work with him and I think it's it'll really work for him. Fans will get behind him. They're already behind him.
He's got that thing where kids are like him because he's like kind of normal guy who's like tries hard. Indie fans like him because he was a massive like indie guy. Like you can be a babyface on all fronts.
Yeah.
Whereas someone like Roman can't be a babyface for like indie guys, things like that. So yeah, interesting. Peter Dunne and Wolfgang interviewed backstage. Partners tonight, but the last King of Scotland asked for a title shot in the future. I think that's the most interesting match they've got available amongst the British guys.
I think it's the most interesting one they've got left to do. I think they've all fought each other otherwise.
They've done quite a lot of Seven done.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of Bait done.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I don't see anyone else from the tournament being prestigious enough, maybe.
Unless they do something with main roster UK talent. Neville, Finn,
they could do it.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew.
Here's
a little bit of fantasy booking for you. Drew McIntyre, NXT champion, challenged by Pete Dunne, UK champion for a two belt match.
A double belt.
I think they would have a right good.
That would be really good,
contest.
and it would be a good way for the belt to move sort of like onto, what's the word? Sort of a good way for it to get maybe onto the main roster at some point.
You could then have like Galloway drop it back.
Do you want that to happen though? Because we wanted them to have their own show eventually.
I think they'll eventually get their own show, but you could shift it around and make it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the most. I'm looking forward to seeing that match. I don't see Wolfgang winning.
No.
But I think it'll be a good match. Pete Dunne can play the small heel against him because he's quite a big
Who
fella.
do you see as like a worthy challenger for Pete Dunne now?
Well, this is my point. Like Wolfgang's, a lot really. I think you've got to either sign someone like Will Ospreay or, somebody who
Marty Skull, someone
like that, or you go like Gallagher, Neville, Galloway.
Gallagher
like
would be good.
That would be class. They've wrestled a lot as well, so it would be similar to a Bait situation where they'd know exactly what they were doing and they'd be able to put on like a clinic. I still think there's a lot of potential there. So next was Peyton Royce versus Sarah Logan, who was a entrant in the Mae Young Classic.
Right. I'll have missed this one.
You would have gone for a sandwich. So Logan hits a nice delayed German suplex. It was surprisingly technical at the beginning of the match. Lots of kind of trading of holds and things like that. Lots of like pine in the face, which was nice. It's still nice that they're kind of highlighting that fact that the girls can be more aggressive now. Royce won with an amazing fisherman suplex with a massive bendy bridge. As show matches go, I would recommend it. It was very enjoyable, even though Dave wouldn't have seen it.
I think I might. I do watch them too though, because I quite like them. Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, I think they're quite funny.
So for me, with Asuka gone, I think Royce is the best in-ringer of all the girls on NXT. And I would like to get a little title run before she's called up.
I think they might get called up before that happens.
Because Billy Kay doesn't win too many matches, so she's kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like interference. So yeah, that's what I'd like to see. How would you solve the vacated women's NXT title situation? Because she hasn't vacated the title yet, but in 2 episodes' time of NXT, she vacates the title.
I think we talked about it on the last podcast, didn't we? By maybe getting a tournament for the girls that are already on NXT and go up against the winner of the Mae Young Classic.
Oh yeah, we did say that.
So I'd still go with that.
That's the idea. I forgot we'd already talked about it.
We've already talked about it, man.
Roderick Strong gets his match with Rude when he's shown blowing him
this
a
is
kiss.
on a different... Oh, yeah.
So, Strong is shown blowing Rude a kiss backstage at TakeOver. Rude's like, not stand for that. Rude also said he wants a title rematch as well, which was interesting.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen, but he hid it out there.
Yeah. It's
like the consummate heel, isn't it? Like, I'm getting that back as well. So do you like this thing of them having the matches after they've debuted elsewhere? Do you like that, like gap bridging thing?
I like it because it puts someone over. Like when someone else
always lose.
They always put someone over before they leave.
In fact, actually, no, Dillinger won.
Yeah, he did.
That's because he'd never won before.
He's the only one I can think of. But throughout that whole feud, he was getting beat, wasn't he? But it seems to be a rule of thumb that they put someone over before they leave, and I think it's a nice touch.
Yeah.
They're getting put on the main roster, and it's not going to hurt them in NXT.
It's almost like the territory days. If you were leaving one of the territories in America, you would do the job before you left. So it's obviously like a callback with that.
Yeah. So yeah, I like it. Roderick Strong, though, every time he mentions his family, I feel like
we'll
crying.
talk more about Roderick Strong. So Aleister Black ignores interviewers. Loved it.
Yep.
Walks past with his little wheelie case. Just
never has to say a word ever.
No.
Never.
Doesn't even you need to have a mouthpiece.
If we could have him on the WrestleFriends podcast.
We could. Aleister, you alright?
Nice one.
He just looked at us like he wants to kick me face off, so I'm just going to leave him.
Yep.
So then we had our main event. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven versus Pete Dunne and Wolfgang. So Wolfgang gets the win with the Howlin', which is the senton bomb, which is very spectacular from a large man.
I really was impressed with that when I saw him do that for the first time.
Hits it on Tyler Bate. This kind of solidifies his title challenge, so he got the win in the tag match. All four men of the UK division were super over. Great match, which you would expect from them. Obviously. I would like to see Mustache Mountain as genuine, regular NXT tag team.
Could work until they get
the show going.
The show up and running.
Possibly winning the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
It's the first time I've seen them do the one suite on TV as well, when they were walking to the ring, which I really enjoyed. Sad little moment.
No,
I enjoyed
they did it in the backstage, didn't they?
Yeah, when they were walking to the ring.
And they did a little
a
smile.
little cheeky smile.
So yeah, tag team Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, stick them in there.
I think I like them even more since we met them, because even though we were stupidly drunk, they just put up with her.
Yeah.
Especially Trent Seven.
It must be.
In fact, Trent Seven was sort of egging what. Trent Seven took my phone off me because Mark was taking so horrendously long to take a photo. Trent Seven got so wound up by this, he took my phone off us and took a selfie, which I've got on my phone and I'll keep it forever. I thought he's just a nice guy, and I want to see him do well. I want to see Trent Seven with the belt for a bit.
Trent's your final challenger for the. Trent's the one you do last, because he's the one that you want to win the most.
Yeah.
If I was booking the UK division, he wouldn't get his shot for a couple of years.
I think he's the one that when the UK Championship tournament started, I was like, that's the guy I want to win. And the reason that was is because he was slightly chubbier.
Well, that's what he's us, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just like a normal guy like me or like anyone else. So I think, I do. I like them even more now than when I watched them previously.
So they're pretty much now just NXT roster members for the time being.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
I hope the show doesn't lose momentum, the UK Championship show, going forward. So
It's got to be.
You've got four guys, really, at the minute. You need to have a show where you see more than four guys. You can't have a show with four guys.
And some of the guys from the UK tournament,
half of them are.
Nah, they don't need them, do they?
You know who's good? That Danny Birch is good. You could have him in.
Danny Birch with the no hair.
No hair.
And is he the one that wrestles only walking quite a bit?
Yeah, he wrestles only walking.
Only walking.
He's so funny, man.
So funny. We were going to walk down the train, remember? When we were drunk.
Doing only walking.
Doing and only walking.
Yeah, I think we should keep that for next train journey. Right, so swiftly moving on. NXT 409 took place on the 30th of August 2017.
Watched it last night, so you can't do a spoiler.
So you haven't watched the one
from
yesterday?
The one from yesterday, I watched that one.
Alright, so we'll do that next time. Yeah. Right, so episode starts with Sanity and various security guards laid out in the car park. Regal walkers in, wanders in, someone off camera calls for a medical, whatever that is. We need a medical! That made us laugh.
It'll be the stop, no, man.
It would be a stupid stop, no, man. We need a medical.
Call a medic, man. I don't know, it must have been a shy stop, no, man.
Yeah. Like, a lot, there was security men laid out as well as sanity. But I didn't recognise any of them.
I always think it's funny.
I was like freeze framing.
I always think it's funny that the cameraman's just wandering around in the car park with his camera switched on. Like, oh, crikey, there's some people.
There's Alexander Wolf laid out.
But then it just so happens William Regal's walking past at the same time as the cameraman.
Doing an angry face.
Brilliant.
He did loads of angry face on this episode.
He was angry throughout, wasn't he?
So McIntyre addresses the NXT universe. He talks about how the NXT title is his life's work. He puts Fish, O'Reilly and Cole and the whole locker room on notice. An invitation to take a shot at the champ, which is pretty much what it was.
Did you enjoy this promo?
And I'm a big fan of McIntyre in the ring.
Yeah, me too.
But he's got a lot of work.
This promo was horrendous.
He's got a lot of work to do. He's doesn't come across as particularly charismatic, I don't think.
No.
But he's like I almost want him to be a little bit more like Aleister Black.
Not talk as much.
Not talk as much, because he's in ring compared to, and I thought he was good when he was in the WWE before, but he's so good now. But yeah, I wasn't overly. Because
then you had the arrival of Roderick Strong.
Yeah, Dave's favourite.
Who said that all he cares about is that championship and his family.
Yeah, you love it when he mentions
and
his family.
Why does
same
honestly,
problem though. Awesome wrestlers.
Bad microphone.
And I'm not a fan of Roderick Strong the microphone or his character, but he's great in the ring. I'm a fan of McIntyre's character. Mm-hmm. He's working the ring, but his mic skills are a bit meh.
I can get away with McIntyre. I can't get away with Strong. I cannot.
So Roderick Strong, as he said, appears and declares he will challenge McIntyre when he is beaten Rude tonight. Simple as that. Family, said something about his family. Talk of men being men and challenging.
That's what I want. I want that. That's what a man does.
That was pretty much it. Challenging face to face. I want people being dicks to each other. That's what I want.
I don't want to see that match. I'm not interested in it already.
Because it's
boring.
Strong. Not thrilled about the prospect of face to face, which
rubbish. I think something's going to have to happen.
You have to be like. It has to be The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels to do face versus face.
I hope what happens somewhere down the line is they have some sort of match between Roderick Strong and somebody else to determine who the number one contender is, because that match with Bobby Roode wasn't really to determine that. That's just what Roderick Strong said. Howie, please. There's got to be something better than that.
But, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but I bet you really enjoyed that match from an in-ring standpoint.
What?
The Roode Strong match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
But then you had to talk as well.
It's like, I don't dislike what he does in the ring. He's really good in the ring, but
you need more than that.
There's nothing else about him.
Yeah.
And that's just it, and it's not good. It's rubbish.
So
maybe it would have worked. You know, when he first came and they paired him up with Austin Aries.
Yeah.
That might have worked because Austin Aries could have done all the talking and he could have just been
good wrestler, man.
Plus they were Ring of Honor tag team champions.
They were.
That might have worked, but yeah.
But if you're planning to bring in a group of Ring of Honor guys in the future who are going to be massive heels, you're not going to do that.
No.
So with that in mind, who would your next NXT title challenger be?
Well,
what's your list?
I love Adam Cole,
it's
but
it's be the slow burn for that.
Too early for that. Love Aleister Black, but it doesn't look like he's anywhere in the title.
See, I would say slow burn for that. Can't hot shot Gargano yet.
No.
So Strong's the best you've got. Strong's the next one that McIntyre can beat, and not mess up anyone's trajectory.
Momentum.
Yeah.
Okay, but then after you've got Strong out of the way, because
it's the end, maybe.
Can you put Roderick Strong against McIntyre as a main event at a takeover?
Nah.
No.
It's going to be like, you remember when AOP and Gargano Ciampa were the main event in a ladder match?
Yeah.
And it was Hideo and Rude was in the middle of the card. You're going to have to do something like that.
Yep.
And that's not because I don't think McIntyre's got enough momentum, but I think Strong's in a similar position to what Hideo was in.
Yep.
But then if you do it that way, if you have that mid-card match, you've then got 2 or 3 main events, really hot main events. So Gargano, Black, Cole, like for later on in the year or next year.
Mm-hmm.
I would also do.
What you could
do in the meantime, I'd also do CN as well.
What you could also do is, we're talking about tag teams. If you were gonna put Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish in a tag team, you could put them up against Sanity, and I think if they had a good match together, that could main event a takeover.
It could, and Cole will be there, so that'll give it the kind of. And they're probably looking at that because it might come out that that's who attacks Sanity at the beginning, because you never find out.
Gotta be in it.
It's got to be. Right, where were we? So are we saying that Strong is the next one basically because McIntyre can beat him?
Reluctantly, yeah. I don't know. I can't think of anybody else unless they're going to throw Adam Cole straight into it, which I can't see them doing without him having a single match. I suppose, unless Bobby Roode, I kind of see them doing Bobby Roode.
Nah, I think he's gone now. Strong beat him.
But then they put him on the main roster, looking all facey.
Well, that's what they're aiming to do, cash in on the Glorious, aren't they?
I'm not happy about that.
Better off face first, heel later.
Nah, we'll see how it pans out.
The next was Ruby Riot versus Peyton Royce.
Sandwich time.
Sandwich time for Dave. So this goes back a few weeks. The iconic duo laughed at Riot for being a freak.
I seen that.
Riot then beat Billy Kay in a singles match.
Not nice calling people freaks.
It isn't. He'll get you in the ring.
Yeah.
So Riot catches Royce in the middle of a spin kick to hit a nice powerbomb. For the finish, Kay drags Riot out of the ring behind the ref's back and delivers a brutal kick to the face. Then Royce does a lovely, sexy, bendy fisherman suplex.
I do like Ruby Riot because we met her.
I'm not a big fan.
I'm always rooting for her, but it's just because we met her.
Yeah, she annoys us. She's a bit like a kind of angsty teenager.
She didn't look like that when we saw her. Teenager. She didn't have like.
No, she was cooler.
She didn't have all them tattoos.
She was almost like a Batman villain when we saw her.
Yeah, she didn't have all them tattoos, and they're legit real tattoos, aren't they?
No, she had tattoos.
She didn't have that many though.
Oh, maybe it's the maid I get them. But yeah, I'm not into the whole angsty teenage girl thing. I'd rather they were like sexy Peyton Royce, like
that's sexist.
Venus Flytrap.
Sexist.
No, but she's a min wrestler and kicks people in the face as well.
Okay.
So it makes it alright. 2 wins in 2 weeks for Royce, so that's a bit of momentum towards a possible NXT title women's thing. Regal backstage says he will take steps against the attackers from the beginning of the night and infers that it was Fish, O'Reilly and Cole. Ono is back.
Oh no.
He interrupts Regal and asks for a no DQ match against Itami next week due to a previous attack.
Will this be Hideo's final last hurrah?
Well, it'll be the end of the feud. It is granted. Quite excited for this one. No DQ match between the two of them should be quite good. What is the end game for this feud, do you think? Do you think it's Hideo's last match, like I said?
I think this could be Hideo's last match. I think we've discussed it before. He might end up on 205 Live, and it's probably a good place to put him.
Do you think they were listening to us for Enzo as well? They think, oh no, that's a good
they must have said them WrestleFriends thing.
Because I think we talked about that at least 4 weeks before it happened.
Yeah, probably. What was I saying? Hideo, yeah. I think it'll be his last match, and I think he'll get beat off Cassius Ohno, because that's what they do.
Yeah. I would like to say Hideo go and, along with Enzo, make 205 Live interesting. You know, I was watching a thing.
Yeah, the first episode of 205 with Enzo in is the first episode I've actually watched for a very long time.
To back that up as well, looking on YouTube, the numbers of views of the other matches, you know how they have the little snippets in the matches, of the other matches compared to like Enzo's match.
Yeah.
It was like 20,000k, like 20k, 24k, 101k on Enzo one. So it's like, and that's all they care about.
If you love him or you hate him, he's entertaining. And he is. He's funny. And I don't really care what he's like outside the ring because I don't know him and it doesn't really impact on
the
us.
whole WWE way of thinking as well. He has all of this like notoriety online. He tells like people in 205 Live apparently backstage that they should be working more psychology and stuff like that, even though a lot of them think he's the worst wrestler. WWE, all they care about is like the amount of internet traffic that happens because of that.
Yep.
So Enzo, love him, I hate him, he's here to stay.
Backstage heat. Hot. Ooh,
hot,
we
ooh.
got it.
Have you got another one now?
I haven't got any heat this week.
Alright, no
Sorry.
heat. Yeah, so bye-bye Hideo, maybe. Heavy Machinery up next. It's about time we ate.
You boys.
Happy to see him back.
I thought
Excited. Heavy Machinery versus Jabronis is how I've described the match.
Yeah, I didn't. Who was it?
Just
Just
some
didn't
rubber
know.
Jabrons.
I think I was a bit distracted when this match was on because Vicky came in from work, so there's things happening.
As much as I like Heavy Machinery, it was like a squash, so you didn't miss much. Otis Dozovic did some weird stamping around the wing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Some weird. He's quite a character.
He's fun.
Did you see on? I was looking on YouTube. He did like 27 reps of like some daft like weight, like 205
No, I've never
pounds.
seen that.
Some
Should
ridiculous like broken some record at the like performance center.
Really?
He's an absolute like.
Oh
tank.
yes, I did see that. Yes,
He's a ridiculous looking human.
he is. It's like he can't put his arms down. It's like his arms are so big and like chunky that he can't actually put them down. I wonder how he like pulls his pants up.
Tucker does it for him. Tucker night.
And how will he actually be able to button his pants because he can't get his arms down there? Like this.
He's got like
You can't see
like,
what I'm doing,
They're
but
like muscly. He's doing some
he's a
spaz
bit
hands.
he's a bit like a T-Rex.
He's T-Rex. Like Rhino was T-Rex as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does some weird stamping. All Night Tucker Night does his front face lock looks like it actually really hurts.
I think everything Heavy Machinery do looks like it really hurts.
He hits a double crossbody at some point, which is very impressive for a large man. Compactor and a double pin for the victory. Quick and devastating. Any title shot needs to happen at TakeOver next time.
Do you reckon?
So it was a TV match. The AOP match was a TV match. I need my boys to have their moment in the spotlight.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll get overlooked because of Fish and O'Reilly.
Lots of stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
I don't want them to be the ones that are beaten on the way.
I think they might be.
It's a shame.
They're definitely a top tag team, but I don't think they're going to be...
Do you know who Heavy Machinery could be like? Kind of get beaten quite a lot, maybe. And then when on the main roster, Vince would be like, "Wow,
these guys are great."
Like the ways he's done, how he's done with Elias, how he wasn't that successful in NXT, but he's done really well.
Yeah.
I think that could be Heavy Machinery's trajectory.
Right.
But yeah, where's the Heavy Machinery T-shirt? WWE shop guys, take my money, please.
You can't... It wouldn't work on you.
But I'm a
You're
fan.
too small.
But I'm a fan.
You can't wear a Heavy Machinery
It will say
t-shirt.
something like, "It's about time we ate," and then people will be like, "Oh, look at that slight guy. Like he shouldn't wear that T-shirt." And then they say it's at the buffet, and they go, "Yeah, that's right.
It's an impressive...
That's an eating machine." Unless he's really hungover, and he's got a McDonald's wrap.
It's just taking 45 minutes to eat.
Next, Lars Sullivan is told by Regal he will face 3 opponents in a handicap match next week because he beats everyone up. He looks quite pleased about it.
He did a cheeky little grin on the way out, didn't he?
So I'm looking forward to watching that.
I wonder who the 3 opponents will be. Oh, I wonder if it's going to be the Ring of Honor guys.
I don't think it will be.
No.
It'll be similar people that Heavy Machinery wrestled this week.
I can't imagine. I wonder who it is.
Jabron Dogs. I would enjoy this storyline ending with Sullivan attacking Regal, which gets over his anger issues.
But then where do you go from there?
Regal has his retirement match. I think I've said this a few times.
Something that's gonna
I've
happen.
tried to get that in a few times.
I think he's well and truly retired.
You have someone like take up and say you can't kind of treat people like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see him attack Regal though. That would be big.
I've never seen that happen. Regal attack?
Nobody's attacked Regal. No? Kevin Owens slapped him about a few times.
Did he?
Yeah.
Can't remember.
And it goes back to back in the, I think it was 94, like Vader attacked Gorilla Monsoon. That was quite a big angle. I'd like to see something similar with this.
Yep.
Maybe he gets suspended for attacking
Who would
Regal.
you have?
He's rocking up in it
Who would you have as your first big feud for him?
for Lars.
Yep.
Well, I think they're going to pick it carefully because, as we said before, he's like the next big project. So I don't know. Maybe it's McIntyre, but not for a little while.
Yeah.
I think he's McIntyre's way out. So McIntyre put him over in 8 or 9 months' time. After he squashed loads of jabronis, squashed CN, no way.
Yeah.
Blake and Murphy probably.
Yeah, I thought McIntyre as well.
But long game.
Maybe he's also Alistair Black.
One of them two is on the way up.
Yep.
There's got to be there's a lot of booking to happen before then. I'm interested to see what Sullivan can do in the ring. So all we've got at the minute is his look.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what he can actually do. Because if he can't go, then they're not going to put him over someone like Alistair Black or...
If he is going to be the next Brock Lesnar, though, it has got to be sort of a long project.
But he's got things like 37-inch vertical leap and things like that. He's going to be able to be taught. Anyway. Interesting
thought.
Right. Bobby Roode versus Roderick Strong. Thank you, Bobby chants at the beginning. Mirror those chants, the chants of the NXT universe.
I've enjoyed Bobby Roode's time in NXT. It's been good.
Roode points in Roddy's face and just shouts, failure. The importance of talking throughout a match to get your character over. You know exactly what Bobby Roode's about, just based on that second.
Yeah.
Like a true heel, similar to Kevin Owens, just like that all the time.
Yeah.
Never shuts up. I was doing talky hands.
Talky hands, you were, yeah. Snappy crocodile hands.
Strong hits a great pop-up double knee gutbuster. The offense in the ring was shit on him all the time for being boring, but he's top draw in the ring.
He's a good backbreaker.
Rude's fireman's carry into a neck breaker was impressive.
Yeah.
So mid point of the match, Strong puts his foot on the rope after a glorious DDT. Still puts Rude over, even though in the end he loses. So there was a little bit of contentiousness there. Finishing sequence was amazing. Roddy wins after 3 jumping knees, release suplex into a backbreaker, blows Rude a kiss, second release suplex into a backbreaker, 1, 2, 3. Spectacular.
Bye bye Bobby.
Bye bye Bobby. Lengthy, fast-paced technical match, very highly recommended from this part of the WrestleFriends podcast.
No, it was good, and I do complain about Roderick Strong a lot, and he is good in the ring. He's really good in the ring, but like I said before,
it's not enough, is it?
Nah.
Especially main roster. I think you can get away with being him in NXT because there's more people like me who want to see Oni Logan, Danny Burch, Roderick Strong, just have nice wrestling matches.
But you can't do that on the main roster because people want to see.
But if you've got Otis Dozovic doing weird stomping and Alistair Black ignoring people and Men of Honor attacking people, then you can have some people who just aren't interesting but good at wrestling.
But then when they come on and they talk about their family, and I feel a bit sick inside. It's not good. It's not a good feeling.
I'll miss Rude on NXT, but really looking forward to the prospect of seeing that entrance at WrestleMania. Yeah,
I hope I want to see more of his character.
Well, like you said though, he's seen as a top guy.
Top 5 guys, I read somewhere, which will see him in the main event picture pretty soon, I'd imagine. But he has to be heel for me. He has to be doing what he was doing in NXT. I'm
It's
hoping.
better off starting face though, so you can go heel.
But I'm hoping it doesn't take long. I hope they pair him up with someone, Dillinger, someone like that, and just like
You fucks him over.
yeah, and that's it.
He is a born heel, like.
He is, and it worked really well in NXT. And for people who've watched since NXT, watched him go on the main roster, we don't want to see him as a face. We want to see what he was doing as a heel, because he can't go from that to that for no reason. You know what I mean?
He should always be a heel.
Like, there's no reason for him to turn face. They haven't given you a reason for him to all of a sudden be face. You know what I mean?
But this is a question: do you need to give reasons between NXT and main roster, or can you just do new things?
But I think you should, for people who obviously you get people who don't watch NXT, but then you've got, it's part of WWE. You've got your fans that watch NXT and they're coming up to the main roster. It's not like Finn Balor came up to the main roster and they're like, you're not being the Demon anymore. It's like,
but they changed it to the Demon King.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like.
And the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura.
So they do little things that are annoying.
But they didn't change their characters completely.
No. I also think Nakamura, I would struggle with him as a heel.
I thought he might make a good heel.
Do you think that the whole like flamboyant stuff will eventually get annoying to the point you can heal him?
I don't think he's got a long shelf life on main roster. Are that many people behind him, or are they behind his entrance? And like,
I heard the high up on him. Well, the thing is though,
I like him.
Someone like Shinsuke is in a brilliant position. If he doesn't like what they're doing with him, and he go back to Japan, straight away he's like he was top guy when he left, wasn't he?
Yep.
So like he's got the most bargaining chips out of everyone. Like you can't touch him really.
Yeah.
Um.
Let's just hope he doesn't get into that mindset though, because that could lead to laziness, which sometimes it could be said in the ring.
I've said that before.
You've said it before.
He sometimes phones it in. He has matches where I think that's absolutely brilliant, and then other times he has matches with opponents who are capable of having good matches, and he doesn't.
Keep him off.
I think one of the only times he's turned up recently was against John Cena.
Keep him off the microphone. That John Cena match was his best match since he's been called up to the main roster. But what's he had to go up against? Really, a couple of matches with Dolph.
And they're never gonna. The match with Dolph's never gonna be given that time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Random Nakamura talks. Right, McIntyre comes out and points at Strong. That's all he needs to do. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
No microphone, just point at him. Your big Scottish braveheartness can like come out and we can enjoy that.
Oh, you down there, Jimmy?
That's what I want. Man.
What a man!
Cole O'Reilly and Fish attack McIntyre again. Regal follows them out of the building as they shout, "We will be back."
Chasing them.
They were saying stuff like, "We'll be back," like, "You need us," like.
Top guys.
Top guys.
The top cocky guys. That's what you need.
I thought about you when they came out. I thought you'd be quite excited.
I like a good heel faction.
It's the first, like, Full Sail appearance.
It was good. I also liked that on, the NXT after TakeOver, they showed a little bit more of the attack. They showed them like walking up the ramp and stuff, and he done the baby with his hands and stuff like that. They didn't show that on the night, so I quite enjoyed that. I hope.
I wouldn't have him wrestle for 3 or 4 months.
I don't think he needs to, but
I would have O'Reilly and Fish wrestle.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I think we've talked about it before. I'd like to see them all have all the belts and like just be walking around like basically smug at anything, rubbing it in people's faces. Be brilliant.
And that's where Aleister Black comes in.
Yep. Doing the old Undertaker bit.
Yeah, I've got a few more WrestleThoughts.
More thoughts?
So WWE, along with talking about Leo Rush, who they signed last week, who was exciting, who we've discussed again. They signed 6'7" monster Donovan Dijak, who is a big indie name, to the Performance Center.
Yeah, I read about that.
So they're piling up these absolute worldies.
Mhm.
So that's exciting.
Don't know much about him.
Check them out. It's good.
Will do.
Like a slightly more athletic Bradshaw.
Right.
Is how I would describe him.
Okay.
Making the lads work on Christmas Day.
I know.
Boo.
As if it isn't
Not
hard
fair.
enough for
And if you say anything, you're then that guy who isn't committed. There's got to be rules.
You got there's no need for it, is there?
No.
Christmas Day, man.
And New Year's as well.
So they can't even be at home with their family on Christmas Day. No, I can't imagine.
Vince.
I can't imagine it being the most highly rated show.
No.
Who's going to be watching wrestling on Christmas Day?
I probably will.
You might, but you're not going to watch Raw because it's not on the network because it's stupid.
Everybody gets tired. No, I don't have.
But you won't though, because you'll have drank and ate and you'll be bursting out your pants and you'll just
You're too busy eating pigs and blanket sandwiches.
You could have cheese and crackers time later on at night.
Stinky cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes has put the Ring of Honor Championship on the shelf and he's now walking around with
He's got a ring, hasn't he?
What do you make of that? Don't like it?
Nah. Why would you do that? Just to be different?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Because then the neck only loses.
I'm all for them having custom belts. Get yourself a custom belt. You don't need a ring. Why a ring?
I didn't get it. I thought they could have done something interesting with him in that whole character, how do you describe the character?
He's just being
it's like Bobby Roode kind of.
He's being a dick
character.
because he's not actually signed to a Ring of Honor contract, so he's walking around saying he can do what he wants, even though he's not on a Ring of Honor contract. So
He's got to be to some extent, hasn't he?
I would have thought so. I would have
That's
thought
gotta
this
be
was
the
part of his
storyline.
gimmick. Yeah, I didn't really. Nah, not bothered.
So, kind of in-depth looks at the Mae Young Classic and King of Trios 2017 in the pipeline.
Are you gonna watch the Mae Young Classic? While you're talking about that, I'm probably gonna go for a sandwich.
Well, can you listen to me when I talk about it?
If everyone else can.
You're just going to leave
Yeah,
the
I'm
room?
just gonna.
There's going to be lots of it, so
Are you gonna do the whole thing?
would you prefer it end?
Are you gonna watch the whole thing?
Well, I watched the whole of a Cruiserweight Classic.
Have you
Sexist?
started watching any of it yet?
No. I really want to watch it.
Okay.
Do you want us to do a summary rather than what I do with NXT?
Yes.
Alright.
But think about that week, right? Where you have the whole Mae Young thing, and then
NXT.
you'll have NXT, and you'll probably have Chikara as well. It's
I'll be
gonna
watching
be
the
too
list
much.
as well. Yeah,
So-
we'll see.
I bet you don't even get time to watch it.
I'll watch it.
When?
'Cause
When are you
I'm
gonna get
working.
time to watch it?
I always get... When I want to watch wrestling, I always find time.
Wrestling will find a way.
I do. Right. So that's the end of my WrestleThoughts. It was only
Jesus.
an hour and... How long was that?
How long have we done?
No, we've done an hour and 7 minutes, so I think that was only half an hour. And
Mine
that's
are
it.
brief.
It felt like a long time.
So my week's been pretty busy. I've had a busy week.
Melted poos.
My little boys had diarrhea and sickness, melty poos, so my WrestleThoughts are a little bit last minute. One thing, the big thing that stood out in the wrestling tinterweb world is that Jeff Jarrett is out. Another sort of for Impact Wrestling.
Somebody else had
JSW.
the X Division champion had resigned this morning.
Everyone's chucking it in. I
I
think
heard it was rehab for Jeff.
I think it's I've heard a few things. I've heard mental health. I've heard because
Do you not think?
didn't he kick off after that whole sexy star Rosemary thing, and there was videos of him going wild backstage.
He was throwing tacos in the crowd
Uh-huh.
on the same show. Do you not think he looked a bit old?
I didn't even know he was still wrestling.
He looked like a grander.
Didn't know he was still wrestling. Surely that's got to be the end. Surely it's got to be the end of Impact.
Poor Jeff. No, it's just one like diarrhea explosion after another, isn't
it's
it?
melted poo, that's what it is.
We've got some really good wrestlers there as well, though.
What's poor Johnny Impact gonna do now?
Do you think?
Well, he's there.
Do you think when they went to him and went, "Oh, got a new name for you"? So, I'm going back to Johnny Nitro. Can't use that. I'm gonna continue with Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact. Yeah, but the show is called Impact Wrestling. Yeah, we all synonymous with the show, Johnny Impact. He's like, Christ.
Anyway, the rumours have all started circulating that it's up for sale again, and the Vince is going to buy it.
I thought the Bucks were going to buy it.
And the Bucks are going to buy it as well. The Young Bucks have put their name in for it.
They're probably going to afford it. How cheap it's going to go for?
Up at T-shirt sales, they're going to buy it. I would like to see.
Should we buy it?
We'll buy it. WrestleFriends Network.
We could do a better job.
Oops.
With Global Force Wrestling than.
We could just have the back catalogue. We could just have the video library and just sell it to Vince for millions.
Yeah, that's an idea. All these AJ and Kurt matches. Do you want
them? We'll sell them as singles as well. They'll not have to we'll not sell them as a bulk. We'll just drip feed them to
them. What would we do with the money?
Go on loads of wrestling. Well, big green T-shirt guy. Yeah. So what now? What now for Impact? What now for poor Johnny Impact? What now for another person that's got a benefit if Vince buys it is poor Matt Hardy, whose brother is now in the number one contender for the Intercontinental. I think he got beat, didn't he?
He got beat, yeah.
Does that mean that's over, or does he get a rematch? It's not over, surely. What was the point? I think
it was just a 1 week placeholder for the Miz.
Do you reckon? It would benefit Matt Hardy.
It would benefit a lot of people. I'd like to see Vince buy it and go right, Low-key, I'll have you.
Low-key's gone though, hasn't he?
No, he's
I thought Low-key...
He's he's wrestling for the number one contendership next week.
Hold on.
Clusterfuck, man.
I thought he went away.
He's back, 100% back. You could go Eli Drake, I'll have you. All the good people, and they're just liquidated.
You just think they're making a little bit of progress, you know what I mean? And like Eli Drake got the belt, and I said the other day, I thought that's quite a good move. Johnny Impact was coming in, even though he's got a shit name. He's a well-seasoned vet now, and I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say top guy or whatever, but he'd be a good guy to have around, I would imagine. And then it's just 10 steps back again, isn't it?
That's the way it's always been since the inception of TNA, and when it was TNA NWA in 2002, and Ken Shamrock was their first champion, and then it was R-Truth. It's always been that 4 steps forward, 20 steps back. And
then it'll probably have a knock-on effect though, because they were in cahoots with the world of sport wrestling that was going to happen on ITV. So what will happen to that now?
I don't know, but there's got to be a lot of contractual stuff going on there, because Jim Ross did the pilot.
Yeah.
But he's re-signed with WWE.
Did you watch that?
I still haven't watched it.
Not watched it.
Grado was a champion, wasn't he?
Grado won, yeah.
I'll watch it eventually, after I watch a Mae Young Classic.
After I've had a sandwich or two. I don't know. That's all I've got to say about that, really.
GFW.
I would like to see Vince buy the back catalogue, because I'd like to sit and watch it at my own leisure on the network.
You know what? It would be class, and I don't think that Vince sees him as enough of a challenger as not to do this, to just put the TNA pay-per-view back catalogue on the network. That would be Spooge Town. It would be lush for someone like Jake, who never seen any of it. Hasn't really seen any of it, because I keep watching it, and he watches it. He doesn't even watch it actually. I'll be sitting and watching it, and he'll walk out, but he's not interested in it at all. But I think if he saw the inception of the X Division and stuff like that, and Sanjay Dutt was having amazing matches 10 years ago. Yeah, I know he's the champion at the minute. He's gone now, hasn't he? No. Am I just making things? I think they go and they come on a weekly basis. Rumours that
either Finn Balor or Samoa Joe could be going to SmackDown. How would you feel about that?
Joe.
Joe to SmackDown? I would put them both on.
I think Joe, after the whole Lesnar thing, they don't know. They've got nothing for him.
No. I would have liked to see him get a little title run out of that, but it was never going to happen, was it?
You could do, I don't want to say Joe Nakamura, but you could do, or Joe Rude, but you could do Joe, who's good on SmackDown? See, this is a problem.
SmackDown. This is another wrestle thought of mine. Is SmackDown doomed to be the B show forever, simply because it's not allowed to be better than Raw? So, as we know, Road Dogg's been getting a lot of stick on Twitter about how SmackDown's gone a bit downhill. Now, if you remember when...
But it's not just one man who books the whole...
Well, no, but I think people do that now just to get a reaction out of him. But I think when the brand split happened, SmackDown sort of gained momentum slowly when they had the likes of The Miz, AJ, who else was on it? It was Dean Ambrose, people like that. And then they did the Superstar Shake-Up, and all of SmackDown's top stars got took away and
Finn
put
Balor
onto Raw.
Well. Because he was out that whole time. So,
basically, did Vince not want SmackDown to be better than Raw? Is it not allowed to happen?
But he shouts on about this whole, like, got to take the opportunity, damn it, stuff like that. But, like, I don't think he really thinks like that. What he really thinks is, like, you'll like what I tell you.
Yeah,
like.
It's my business.
I think he always wants Joe. Where the hell did that come up? Wants Raw to be the flagship show.
So, if you're on SmackDown, you're basically the B-side.
Yeah, but you still get top matches on pay-per-views and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is amazing. But yeah, Joe, the answer to your question, Joe.
I think Finn Balor would be... I think that's boring, that feud he's having with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, on the whole, is becoming a little bit meh.
Well, what do you do with a problem like Bray? I think they've booked him in so many defeats that he's lost these kind of...
I think he needs a bit of time away.
You could bring him back as a slightly different version of himself, so it could still be like...
Undertaker him a bit, like, sort of like...
But you could even more darken him up.
They need to do something about him because every feud he's in at the minute is the same. There was also talks of Randy Orton going to Raw as well, which I'm not really bothered about and don't really care about, but...
Randy can do what he wants.
It would have been interesting to see. I've got, as one of my thoughts, Roderick Strong loves his family. That was just it.
Like, it was almost like they had penned the promo with McIntyre, and he was like, so I'm going to come out and I'm going to say I'm the only one who challenges him face to face, and we're men, and this is the way we do it.
Yeah, I want a man.
And the backstage kind of the guys were like, make sure you mention your family. That's your thing. About the title, a fair match. See it? My family.
See it. I'm looking forward to Reigns versus Cena. Possibly should have been kept for WrestleMania, but
well, I was listening to Nigel Christian's podcast, and they were like, there must be a reason.
It's got to be Undertaker, and this is another one of my thoughts as well. I've just simply put Undertaker return question mark.
Please not.
It's got to be. The only reason it's not going to be Cena versus Reigns at WrestleMania has got to be because it's going to be Cena versus Undertaker, I think.
It's going to...
Knock you.
It's going to spoil what happened. Like, I thought the way they did it, unannounced, like, if you haven't retired, why fold up your jacket in the ring?
Maybe he was hot.
Why the stop no men left the jacket in the ring, like, they had pictures of it, like, way past when they were tearing all of the stuff down, it was still there.
Because they were scared of it.
Like, piss Undertaker coming out of retirement.
So who was it who said maybe he could be American Pie?
Will. That was you, Will.
You don't like that idea either, do you?
Yeah.
Nah.
Like there's logic to it. Like
I don't think it's such a bad idea because
he can come back as the American Badass so he can speak at the Hall of Fame.
That was Will's reasoning for it, and I'm agree with him on that. Because he'd be able to talk into the promos.
It's more the fact him coming back at all. The fact that it's.
I don't want him to come back because I think they've done such a good job of retiring him, but it's got to be Cena versus Undertaker, hasn't it?
I read something online today that he's had a few surgeries, so he's a bit better than he was against Roman. Because I thought
he's never gonna get rid of his own man tummy though, and he's never gonna get rid of
Didn't look good against Roman.
And do you not think he makes himself a bit too orange now when he comes out and
What's the deal with that?
I don't know.
All them blokes should not wear fake tan.
And surely he should be making himself look more pale than orange because he's meant to be dead.
The dead man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got shit written all over it.
Can Cena carry the Undertaker through a match?
That's the question, isn't it?
Can he?
No.
What do you think about the actual match that is happening, that we know is happening, is Reigns v Cena? Excited about that. I am really excited about it. Surely it's got to be a Reigns clean win.
Yeah, Cena schooled him in terms of how to
talk.
Cena's basically said through the medium of being on television with him, this is how you need to behave.
Yeah, he basically showed him how to cut a promo.
This is how to take their booze and to use it.
Maybe they need to give Reigns a little bit more of a human touch, though. You know what I mean? Like
John Cena gets to do.
Give him a bit more, make him a bit more of a.
Do you not think John Cena has been so good of a John Cena that it's impossible to get another John Cena? So it's impossible to have another Undertaker. It's possible to have another Shawn Michaels for different reasons. They awesome wrestlers, character. But John Cena is so good at what he does.
You don't particularly want another John Cena. You just want Roman Reigns to be able to be allowed to be Roman Reigns. You know what I mean?
I didn't read. I was listening to Edge and Christian's podcast, which is amazing, by the way. Anyone who likes wrestling, listen to their podcast. Where they interviewed the Usos, and they said the Usos are doing the best work of their career because they can come out and they can be themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they need to do with Roman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Just let him. I think it was The Rock who I read once sort of begged and pleaded with Vince to just give him 5 minutes off script, and look where that went. I don't think Roman's got that in him, but
do you not think he only looked bad? The majority of that promo was unscripted. No, I think he only looked poor because John Cena's so good at that kind of thing.
I think for Roman Reigns, a lot
of people are saying it was his best promo, even though Cena made him look poor.
Cena made him look poor, but it was Roman Reigns' best promo that he's done in
most interesting
ever. I can't remember seeing him do a better one.
No.
So yeah, I'm excited to see the match. It'll be a good match, I'm sure. What else we got lined up for No Mercy? We've got Brock v Braun.
Tell you what, this isn't No Mercy. This is Hell in a Cell, which is even further down the road. I've heard rumours that they're going to do New Day, Usos Hell in a Cell.
That'd be good.
If they do that, that's got the potential to be match of the year.
Well, apparently Nakamura versus Jinder's not going to be in a cell.
Yeah, I think the 2 cell matches were going to be Shane, Kevin Owens, and New Day Usos. What does that say about how they think about Nakamura babies? I don't know. Or do you think they just think that they don't need it?
Maybe they don't need it, or is it too close since Jinder's had that Punjabi prison match not long ago? Maybe it's just a non-sort of gimmicky match.
But you'd think with the Sings they'd have a Hell in a Cell so they could
keep them out.
But
they've already sort of done that with the Punjabi prison match, haven't they? Where they weren't meant to be able to get in it. But
bump of the year.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I'd be worried about those 2 lads if they hadn't a Hell in a Cell match because they'd definitely be going off it.
Totally.
Shane's going off it.
Shane's got to be going off it. Be interesting to see.
They'll do something in it.
Yeah. Usos off it.
I just think it'll be class having the 3 New Day members and the Usos just kind of going wild.
Yeah.
Like loads of them.
Uh-huh.
I'm quite excited for that. What were you saying about No Mercy? So we got Brock.
Brock v Braun.
Excited?
Yeah.
I'd love Strowman to win.
I'd love Strowman to win.
Still.
Yeah, I don't think Brock's going to drop it anytime soon. But I did say from the start, if he's going to drop it at anyone, it'll be Braun.
Down the line, maybe. Breakout star of the year, I would say, Brock Strowman.
Yeah, and massive improvements in the ring. Doesn't need to say very much.
Doesn't need to do a lot.
Nah, just be big and be scary and do it well and shout Braun a lot.
He is. You see it every now and then, but he's rapid as well.
He's good in the ring, no, for a guy his size.
He's only going to get better. He's young.
Big Show looks like he's retired now.
Yeah.
And that looked a bit like a passing on of the torch.
Big man torch.
Got the old thank you Big Show chance, didn't he? Good time to do it, we said, didn't we? Best shape of his career.
Going out on a high.
I've watched some of his stuff lately, like from earlier on, and he didn't look great. He was fat, basically.
Yeah. Twice the size as he is at the minute.
And he does look great now compared to then, so good on him.
Well done, Paul.
But has there been any other matches booked for that yet? I can't remember. The women's title match? Sandwich time?
I can't remember.
Me neither.
Mustn't be anything that particularly interesting.
Anyway.
But it's quite a while. There was a big gap between SummerSlam and No Mercy, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I think sometimes
we've still got 3 weeks left.
Sometimes you need it. There's just too much content.
But you have so they probably did it because you had the Mae Young Classic. In between.
That's it for me. That's all my thoughts.
Some good WrestleThoughts.
I didn't think I had many, but I had quite a few. I'll never have as many as you though.
It's because you don't feel the need to compartmentalize everything, even wrestling.
We've got some interesting wrestle poems coming up now. Do you want to do yours first?
So I've written my wrestle poem based on our trip to Chikara King of Trios Night 1 in Birmingham. My wrestle poem is called Scene Missing.
Oh God.
Whiskey on the train. Scene missing. Too tall. Scene missing. Lost despite GPS. Scene missing. Funko Pops. Scene missing. Wrestling themes. Scene missing. Loads more whiskey. Scene missing. Polar Express. Scene missing. Talking shit in the queue. Scene missing. Cans of cider. Scene missing. Hatfield's a big lad, isn't he? Scene missing. Oh my gosh, or is it grim? Scene missing. A caught pass from Mr. Touchdown. Scene missing. British strong style. Scene missing. One sweet. Scene missing. Bunch of moving shapes. Scene missing. A nightclub. Scene missing. More whiskey. Scene missing. A lost t-shirt. Scene missing. Vomit, a hill, and following white shoes. Scene missing. Scene missing. Scene missing. Pain. First class travel.
Classic. I think you managed to get stuff in there that we haven't even discussed on the podcast.
Like Funko Pops.
Like the Funko
Too
Pops.
tall.
Went into the shop with the most Funko Pops in I've ever seen in my life.
If you're a fan of Funko Pops, go to Forbidden Planet near the Britannia Hotel in Wolverhampton. It's like there was literally thousands.
I've never seen a bigger selection of Funko Pops. The too tall was the we were using cups from your Lucas's party, weren't we?
Yeah, it was Lucas's first birthday. We had a Dear Zoo themed theme. And then we had paper cups of Too Tall, which the giraffe, if you've ever read Dear Zoo, the giraffe's too tall. So we had, and then we realised that Giant Gonzalez is too tall. Gonzalez Award, too tall. I think we shouted that at some people and
They
were
didn't get
bemused
it.
in the queue.
I think they were serious wrestling fans, like serious.
I tell you, you cannot if you don't know who Giant Gonzalez is, you can't consider yourself a serious wrestle fan.
Another bit was the Polar Express. That was when we were standing outside drinking Jack Daniels, FaceTiming my son, and he was just belly laughing at work saying Polar Express.
He was watching Polar Express in the middle of September, and we just started shouting it. I think that was all.
That was it, wasn't it?
That was interesting.
My wrestle poem is also about our trip away. I'm just going to start it so you can all enjoy it. So here's a little story from not so long ago about the time that me and Mark went to a wrestling show. It started bright and early on a mighty train. Spirits were high and drinks were hard. This trip would not be lame. Phantom of the Opera was the hotel's tune of choice. We asked if we could check in using the power of our voice. We wandered the streets of Wolverhampton, sipping JD as we go, trying to find the venue of the Super Wrestling Show. The venue was located back to the hotel for a clean. Cleanliness is important on the wrestling scene. The wrestling show was mega, from what I can remember. We made friends with Trent Seven, Mustache Mountain's newest members. Called into a rock bar on our way back and had a drink or two. Then I ate rotten kebab as Mark barfed on his shoe. Well, that pretty much, from both poems, contains everything. From
You get the idea from both poems.
That leads us to the Gonzalez Award, and I'm sorry, Mark, but the person that needs to go in to the Gonzalez Hall of Fame this week, it's not you, it's Drunk You.
Yeah, Drunk Me is not the same as Real Me. There's a few videos that... So, you'll have already heard this, because I've just decided on it now, but I'm going to record some audio of... a small amount of audio that Dave took from the trip to Chikara.
And I ain't putting the video up.
Nah.
It's bad.
But the video is when we met Mr. Touchdown.
That's another thing we didn't mention. He passed the ball to us from the other side of the...
It was pretty spectacular.
And I caught it, and then I threw it back like a real man, and he caught it back again, and that was a big moment for me. So
anyone who doesn't know Chikara, Mr. Touchdown, Marco Angeloselli, is like an American football kind of jock character. And he threw an American football, so from about 20 yards away at the merch table to us at the bar. Mm-hmm. That makes it cool because we were at the bar. Yeah. And Dave caught it perfectly. This is after Dave drinking and threw it back like in the American football style.
And I can't even do that.
To him. And like I can't remember what happened after that because I was drunk. Did he do some sort of like yay?
He was like something like that.
It was extremely enjoyable. So Drunk Me's and Gonzalez
Hall of Fame. Sorry about that. Again, not many people want to get in touch with the show apparently, but you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Well, probably not Instagram these days. Don't go on there. And the WrestleFriends Podcast is the WrestleFriends. That easy for me to say. The email is the WrestleFriends Podcast at yahoo.com.
Nice.
End of the show. Hope you enjoyed it. See you
Too
soon.
tall.
One sweet.
Pardon me?
I was cheering for White Wolf.
Hanging, brother.
You was cheering for White Wolf, fuck him.
Huh?
So like,